And so I am just appreciative of the team here today. And I will say to anyone out there, we're not done. You know, we've now shown the template that we can put together to be able to attack these areas.
06:12 a.m. Red and blue lights strobe against the frost-glazed windows of St. Alder High. The parking lot is lined with yellow tape, steam rising from cracked asphalt where portable generators hum at a steady 60 hertz. 2 faculty members are cuffed beside a white Ford Transit van, their faces gray in the flashing wash of patrol LEDs. Behind them, agents in Tyvek suits haul out metal drums labeled with hazard codes and stack them in neat rows. A pallet of seized laptops and counting machines sits under a pop-up canopy, condensation dripping onto evidence tags. Sergeant Klein calls out over the radio for another container manifest. 3 million in cash, a half-ton of chemicals, 8 encrypted wallets recovered. The building still vibrates faintly with residual airflow from the ductwork that fed the basement. No one knows how long it's been running. At 04:18 a.m., 2 hours before the arrests, the only movement on campus comes from the custodial truck idling beside the east entrance. Inside, maintenance technician Luis Ortega checks a carbon dioxide monitor reading 2,400 parts per million, triple normal. The handheld unit chirps every 5 seconds. He taps the sensor, resets it, then walks 50 meters down the corridor to a junction door marked Storage 2B. The air feels wrong, warm and dry against the skin, like static before a storm. He presses his palm to the steel latch. Heat bleeds through. On the other side, machinery hums beneath the concrete floor. Ortega radios the facilities office. Basement's running hot again. Feels like a blower stuck on high. The dispatcher logs it as HVAC malfunction and opens a maintenance ticket. At 04:23 a.m., Ortega and the night security officer descend the access stairs. Each carries a mag light and a handheld infrared thermometer. The stairwell smells faintly of ammonia. The temperature reads 88 degrees Fahrenheit at the second landing. The officer swings his beam across the lower corridor. Fresh footprints in fine gray dust, leading toward a locked utility door that isn't on the blueprints. They pause. Overhead, the ventilation fans surge for 7 seconds, then slow. The officer keys the radio. Checking sub-level panel. Possible electrical short. He doesn't see the faint condensation vapor escaping under the door seam. The thermal camera on Ortega's shoulder rig shows a plume of 130 degrees Fahrenheit air. But the image glitches. He thinks it's reflection. They log the inspection as complete and climb back up. At 04:39 a.m., the control room displays a rising carbon dioxide trace on screen B. Baseline drift climbing 10 units per minute. Security Supervisor Jenny Lutz sips her coffee and mutters about faulty calibration. She tags the alarm as low priority. The screen behind her cycles through 16 cameras, all showing dark hallways and empty classrooms. On Channel 7, a motion alert blinks in the basement corridor. The timestamp repeats. She calls the on-call facilities manager and suggests resetting the sensor node. No one mentions that the camera feed from Storage 2B has been black for 48 hours. On the roof, the central exhaust stack vibrates hard enough to shake loose a strip of flashing. The night air carries a faint chemical tang eastward across the football field. At 05:01 a.m., Officer Darnell in Patrol Unit 82 receives a call about a possible gas event at the school. He arrives 3 minutes later, parks at the south gate, and dons his respirator. Lutz meets him at the service entrance, carbon dioxide monitor reading 3,100 parts per million. They descend the stairs together. The beam of Darnell's flashlight catches droplets forming on conduit pipes, rolling down and hissing when they hit the floor. "Looks like coolant," he says. She nods. They reach the lower corridor, hear machinery cycling. Through the steel door, there's a rhythmic pounding, metal against metal, steady at about 1 hertz. "Compressor stuck," Lutz says. Darnell knocks once, waits, then unlatches the safety bar. The door resists for a moment, then opens into a wave of dense vapor. Inside, the light hits rows of stainless tanks stacked 3 deep, each fitted with plastic tubing running into the ceiling. The vapor carries a sweet chemical odor. Darnell steps forward, scanning with his flashlight. A work table stands 20 feet away, cluttered with lab glass, digital scales, and a laptop still running a data logging program. Timer on the screen, 07:00:00 countdown, red digits. He radios, "We've got an active setup, possible narcotics lab, need hazmat and backup." The words barely leave his mouth before a low rumble shakes the room. Automatic ventilation engaging. Fans spin up overhead, 2,200 revolutions per minute, sucking vapor through ductwork that leads directly into the school's main air return. Lutz swears under her breath and yanks him back into the hallway. At 05:11 a.m., additional units arrive. 4 cruisers, 1 fire engine, and a hazmat truck block the main entrance. The incident commander, Lieutenant Vega, establishes a perimeter at 150 meters and orders thermal scans through the basement concrete. The scans show temperature variance between 120 degrees Fahrenheit and ambient, indicating active reaction vessels. Vega assumes small-scale meth production and calls for containment. Inside, Darnell's team seals the corridor and begins cataloging evidence with helmet cameras. The air monitors chirp at 15-second intervals. They do not know that under the main electrical junction, a second sublevel exists. A 20 by 30 foot chamber accessed through a false breaker panel. Behind that wall, larger equipment still runs. The noise of the fans covers it completely. At 05:19 a.m. in the administrative building across the parking lot, IT Supervisor Mark DeWitt watches system logs scroll on his monitor. The power fluctuation from the basement trips the school's automated data protection script. On his screen, a window flashes. System lockdown initiated. Data mirror engaged. He assumes the backup routine has started and nods. The code moves faster than usual. Packets routing through the district server. Then, a municipal finance node. The data volume climbs to 900 megabytes per second. DeWitt leans back, satisfied it's working. He does not see the embedded command string transferring funds from the district's discretionary accounts to an external nonprofit labeled Community Learning Initiative. The transfer queue shows 2.7 million processed, destination masked. At 05:24 a.m., Vega authorizes controlled power shutdown to prevent ignition in the lab. The switchboard is located 30 meters from the sub-basement in the same electrical cage that houses the network routers. Technician Ortega, now in a respirator, pulls the main breaker. The lights flicker, fans spin down, and pressure readings drop. The entire building exhales warm air through rooftop vents. At the same instant, the backup power relay in the server cage activates. An auxiliary battery keeps the routers live for 5 minutes. The system believes it's under emergency lockdown and completes the last stage of the fund transfer. None of the operators notice the faint green LED blinking pattern. 3 short, 2 long, confirming data exfiltration complete. At 05:27 a.m., the first breach team from City Narcotics arrives. 4 agents with M4 carbines and thermal goggles. They move down the stairwell at 0.8 meters per second, voices clipped through headsets. The corridor is clear, humidity at 95%. A second team sets up at the east door, 20 meters apart. Vega coordinates over radio. Entry on my mark. Goal is evidence preservation. The agents cut through the false wall using a battery saw. Concrete dust hangs in the air, mixing with ammonia fumes. The blade screeches for 12 seconds before giving way to open space. Inside, light reflects off liquid-filled barrels. Blue glow from a laptop screen pulses once every 3 seconds. At 05:31 a.m., the breach team steps inside. One agent sweeps left, another covers the rear. The floor is slick with condensation. In the corner, a figure in a dark hoodie sits at a workstation, typing rapidly. Agent Ruiz calls out, "Hands visible, step away." The figure hesitates, hits one more key, and raises both hands. A small beep sounds from the computer. Transfer confirmation tone. Ruiz moves in, cuffs the suspect, and signals clear. The workstation screen shows transaction logs scrolling too fast to read. He glances once and catches numbers. 3,002,000. Destination hash beginning with 45A7. He records it on body cam. The suspect says nothing, just watches the countdown timer hit 0. The fans stop completely. At 05:34 a.m., Vega orders full evacuation. The building's internal pressure equalizes with a loud thump as the remaining vapor vents upward. Outside, the hazmat team activates negative pressure tents. Over the radio, dispatch reports district servers offline. Network isolation complete. DeWitt in IT realizes the backup drive is empty. He runs checksum. Data missing. When he calls the district finance officer, she's already on hold with the bank reporting outgoing transfers flagged for review. The system timestamps align perfectly with the power down sequence. Vega doesn't know this yet. He's still directing containment inside, watching temperature readings drop below 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and considering the job done. At 06:02 a.m., agents from the Federal Financial Crimes Division arrive. They carry laptops and forensic imaging kits, set up under the same canopy where the cash is being counted. Data pulled from the seized computer shows access tokens for 5 additional district accounts. Each token corresponds to a grant reimbursement file with recent signatures. The timestamps match the network outage to the second. Agent Barlow radios Vega. This wasn't just a lab, it's financial. Looks coordinated. Vega looks at the rows of drums, the improvised chemical plant hidden under a school, and shakes his head once. He orders all electronic devices isolated in Faraday bags. At 06:08 a.m., the last suspect, a district accountant named Randall Shevitz, is escorted out of the admin wing. His wrists are cuffed, hands steady. He looks neither defiant nor afraid. Reporters shout, "Was this your operation?" He doesn't respond. A light breeze moves the caution tape, making it slap against the patrol car bumper in steady rhythm. Inside the evidence van, boxes labeled financial records sit beside containers marked toxic material. 2 different crimes sharing one power source. Vega stands beside the van door, notes the coincidence, and says nothing. His radio crackles once. Transfers confirmed complete at 05:26. Total loss, 3.1 million. At 06:15 a.m., sunlight glints off the steel drums lined across the asphalt. Condensation gathers on the lids, dripping onto the ground in slow rhythm. Technicians in full suits begin scanning each drum with handheld spectrometers. Readings show residue consistent with synthetic opioid precursors. The air temperature is 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and steam rises from their exhaled breath. Across the lot, Barlow reviews the recovered laptop data, his screen filled with account numbers and timestamps. He notes cross-references to charitable foundations in 3 other states. The implication widens, quiet but clear. The operation here was not the origin, just a node in a larger pattern. At 06:29 a.m., the final evidence load departs. The trucks roll north at 40 miles per hour, escorted by 2 patrol cars. The noise fades down the access road. Vega signs the incident log at the command post. Facility secure, substances contained. Suspects detained. He does not add the missing funds. The sun climbs above the trees, lighting the condensation trails above the campus like thin wires. A single security camera, still powered by internal battery, continues to record the empty lot. Its internal clock drifts 3 minutes behind real time. At 06:33 a.m. inside the district data center 8 miles away, a maintenance technician checks the server temperature, stable at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Network traffic shows 0 activity. He opens a diagnostics window and sees 1 new connection request from an unknown node marked Archive Rebuild. He clicks Deny. The request repeats 10 seconds later, time-stamped with the same coordinates as the school. He denies it again, then unplugs the cable. The screen goes black. In the quiet room, only the cooling fans continue their low, steady hum. By 06:40 a.m., the site stands calm. The hum of generators fades and the wind carries the smell of detergent. Students' buses approach from 2 miles out, rerouted to an alternate campus. On police radio, chatter drops to short, clipped acknowledgments. Scene cold, Vega says. Final transmission. The sky over St. Alder High clears completely. Beneath the gymnasium, the floor remains warm for hours, heat slowly bleeding through layers of concrete. In the financial offices downtown, transaction servers report balance reconciliations that do not add up. 3 million missing, 4 accounts still pending audit. No alarm sound. Only the quiet click of keys as analysts begin to trace what's already gone.